Good evening and welcome to EvilGinger Miniatures, where I'm going to be prattling on about various things and just being an old duffer on the internet. To recap a little, this is hopefully a restart of the Tuesday regular little live streams. Still not worked out how to edit stuff, and I'm going to be working on with someone else, young Stu, who occasionally turns up in these streams, who apparently is really good at this, according to his son. Basically, what I'm going to be doing tonight is, I had hoped to be doing some modelling, but it can't find me bases. I have about 300 of them in the workshop. However, I have been sorting the workshop slowly, mostly at night, for the last week or so, and I haven't seen them for some time. I have managed to do some sorting in the office. You may notice the stuff behind me has changed round. I need some more storage boxes to get them out of these little, X-Suite boxes, which are much better for paint than for models. But I have lots of those which I will be putting paints in, and hopefully trying to keep my paints in some good order. There are paints in them downstairs in the workshop, however they are somewhat mixed up and they need sorting. Basically, the plan for today is to show off my Hobgoblin army so far, and the first stage of actually turning it into an army rather than a large rabble. This is the means by which I will be attempting to get myself painting and modelling. This is Archer and a captain of archers and a couple of spearmen. Put that over to that side, and we do a technical manoeuvre called moving the computer. The noise, by the way, is my mouse clicking in and out of function. You might be able to see that is the future photo area, and there we have the box I'm going to be opening and the box of paints. And no, John, they're not all for your Swiss. There is some primer in there for the Swiss, but I'm not thinking about doing Swiss at the moment because Swiss are one of the reasons for my nervous breakdown. But you already know that. This are some models I ordered from the Sprue company for a number of purposes, but mostly expanding that army. And I'm going to open it. It took a little while to arrive because it was on back order. But I wasn't in a hurry. To be honest, I ordered it middle of last month. It wasn't on back order that long, to be honest. We have a message from young Steve. And in there we have some orc sprues. Who will become archers. There's 3 of those to give me 16. To give me 16 archers. And then we have two of these to do my squad for Forbidden Ruin, I think it's called. I was going to use the metal figures I've got from That's 10 models, I think. Yeah, it's 10 models. We might need another sprue of those. But those are... But I decided to use the plastics as I think they're a little bit more customizable. Also in there is a full box of orcs. This is the orc standard infantry, not the heavy infantry. Oathmark, because I'll be using this army for forgotten. Is it Forbidden Ruin? Just hang on a minute while I look at that up. Because it's on the desktop. Where is it? Forgotten Ruin. I've got the PDF on the computer, which is why I had to faff around and open tabs and such like. It's flashing right in front of there. Didn't need to be flashed. The Forgotten Ruin uses mob sizes, and 8 is a reasonable number for them. So my hobgoblins will be in multiples of 8, and my other troops will mostly be multiples of 8. I've got an idea for the goblin cavalry might be in multiples of 6, but the goblin heavy cavalry, goblin cavalry like this guy, he'll be an 8, but he's a kit bash. And the next thing I'm going to buy is probably going to be a box of the Oathmark humans, which I can use the spare heads from the orc sprues to arm up. These, as I say, will be archers, so we'll have spare weapon arms, and I will have spare armored heads, because the majority of them won't have armored heads. And I'll be doing little things like using the round shields from here and mixing in some shields from probably War Games Atlantic Goths or the Dark Age infantry that Gripping Beasts do. But again, separate sprues can be got. Getting those out of the way, I'm going to show you at least the big box. The big box is the big box of Reaper paints, which is currently on my photographic table, or what will become my photographic table, and it's bloody heavy. And I got it directly from America because it's not the warehouse in the UK doesn't exist, and the warehouse in Fulham doesn't exist yet. But we have a dirty great box of paint. I pretty much run out of paint, which was again another reason I was getting a little depressed, because I was waiting for this stuff to restock in the UK, and it didn't. Then I discovered it was moving to the Netherlands, and I was waiting for it to restock having moved to the Netherlands, but it didn't. So I was sitting here getting stressed by that, and it was another contributor to me feeling frankly quite useless. I got a trade that is a trade account, but because it came from America, because I had to pay horrendous amounts of customs on it, pretty much cost me as much as it would if I'd bought it retail. But if I'd bought it retail, it would have been horrendous. But I will be hopefully finding a place I can sell those to the general public when they've got the Netherlands site set up, and I can get them at a reasonable price. I'll also be selling Reaper miniatures, the acrylic resin ones, which are quite nice and paint up really easily, and I have got quite a large selection of them in the boxes behind me and elsewhere. As you can see, things are getting a bit organised in the back, but it's slow work, and I need to get things like a shredder, because I've got a filing cabinet here which will be very useful, but it's currently full of rubbish, which is stuff I needed from I need to keep from a previous business that I need to get rid of now, and I need a heavy duty shredder to get rid of it. And the shredder is a couple of weeks away. I know exactly what I need, and I will get on with it. Won't take too long to shred, and I can also, as it's a heavy duty shredder, it'll also get rid of a lot of the cardboard and make it a lot easier to bin, rather than having to jump up and down boxes. The roar in the background is the new fan. I've got it set on high because this office is becoming more and more like a oven, and I was melting and have become largely nocturnal, mostly working down in the workshop, chucking out stuff, mostly boxes that I kept because they might be useful during lockdown when I wasn't really doing a great deal, apart from young John's Swiss. Anyway, what I've got to do now is I've got to pack everything back in the box and order me some bases, and then I've got to go through the paints and a few freebie figures box and get them transferred into these, of which I have got several dozen more empty on the shelves behind me, and we'll have even more once I have emptied the figures that are in the full ones. My plan at the moment is to go and see some people down at Books and Banter on Thursday and see if we can get some other stuff organised. Possibly like to talk to Stu and Bo about that, like to talk to everyone else about that, particular Tabitha and her pet monster, as I might need someone to do a foreigner for me, involving helping me clear out the rubbish pile in the workshop. Again, it's much easier to be inspired if someone is getting stuck with you and keeping an eye on you, making sure I'm motivated. And the heat isn't terribly motivating. I've got the fan on full, and I've got the fan on downstairs. I've got the window open behind the curtains, and I've got the bathroom window open behind me, and the airflow is barely noticing, and I feel like I'm sitting in a cooker or working in a kitchen, and I know I'm not. It will be likewise cold in the winter, but we'll get something done. Hopefully, if my clearing of the workshop over the next few days finds the bases that I'm missing, or I give up and order them, which is going to mean I discover the ones that I've lost within minutes of doing that, I will start assembling some models. The British section for Forbidden Psalm, so Forbidden Ruins, and the Hobgoblin troops, who will end up opposing them. I'm fiddling about with the campaign rules so that we're only fighting the one enemy. So, as I seem to have two people watching, which is great. You know, I really enjoy having people watching, even if you're being a bit quiet in the chat. Hello to both of you, and I hope you're having fun. Really, that's pretty much the plan at the moment. And watch this space for developments, really. and pretty much might very well leave it at that, on the grounds that the assembly thing isn't going to happen until I've got the bases, and I can always do that live later in the stream. I've got a proper desk and I can actually do some work offside. So with that, I will leave you. Have a great evening, and I will probably melt into a bucket in the corner somewhere. Take care, everyone, and goodbye for now. Bye.